When you're in love, you never expect betrayal to arrive dressed as laughter. That's why I wasn't prepared for the moment my girlfriend turned a casual night with friends into a memory that would haunt me. It started like any other Saturday evening. She had invited me to hang out with her close group. 3 of her girlfriends, all sitting around her living room with takeout boxes and half-empty soda cans scattered across the coffee table. The music was low, conversation flowing easily. For once, I felt like I belonged in her world outside of our relationship. They teased each other about old crushes, shared stories from college, and laughed about things I couldn't always follow. But I smiled anyway, glad to see her happy. She looked radiant when she laughed, like the weight of the week had lifted. I loved her most in those moments. And then it happened. One of her friends brought up relationships, joking about how fast people moved on these days. Another chimed in, mentioning exes who tried to crawl back into their lives. They all laughed, tossing stories back and forth. That's when she smirked and said it. If my ex texted me right now, she let the words hang in the air, grinning mischievously as her friends leaned closer, waiting for the punchline. I don't know what I'd do. The room erupted in laughter. Her friends clapped, giggled, teased her. She covered her face dramatically, like it was just a silly joke. But me? I froze, my chest tightened. My hands went cold. I tried to force a smile, but it felt glued in place. On the surface, it was just a joke. That's how they all took it, light-hearted, meaningless. But to me, it was a knife. Because behind every joke lies a hint of truth, a shadow of what someone has actually thought about. Her friends kept laughing, moving on to the next topic, but I stayed stuck in that moment. Her words played on repeat in my head. If my ex texted me right now, what did she mean by that pause? Why didn't she finish the sentence? And why did she look so entertained by the idea? The rest of the evening was a blur. I barely heard the conversations, barely tasted the food. I nodded when people spoke to me, laughed when it seemed appropriate. But inside, I was unraveling. When her friends finally left, she turned to me, still smiling. That was fun, right? I didn't answer immediately. My throat felt dry. What did you mean? I asked quietly. She frowned. What do you mean? The joke, I said. About your ex texting you. Her expression shifted. Confusion at first, then annoyance. Oh my God, you're not seriously upset about that, are you? I just want to know what you meant, I said. It was a joke. She snapped, rolling her eyes. Everyone knew I was kidding. Why are you making it into a big deal? Because it didn't feel like a joke to me. I tried to explain, tried to tell her how it made me feel. How hearing her say that in front of everyone cut deeper than she realized. But she brushed it off. You're being paranoid, she said. Don't ruin a good night over nothing. Nothing. That's what she called it. But it wasn't nothing. It was a crack in the wall of trust I had built around us. That night, as she slept beside me, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. My mind spiraled. What if her ex really did text her? Would she laugh it off? Or would she hesitate, the same way she hesitated in that joke? Did she still think about him? Somewhere deep inside where I couldn't reach? I wanted to shake it off, to tell myself it was harmless. But the doubt grew day by day. The following week, I found myself noticing things I had ignored before. The way her phone lit up and she quickly turned it face down. The way she smiled at certain memories she never shared with me. The way she defended her ex whenever his name came up. Every little thing became fuel for the fire burning in my chest. One evening, I confronted her again. Do you still think about him? I asked. She groaned, exasperated. Seriously? Are we still on this? I told you, it was just a joke. Then why make that joke at all? I asked. Why not say, I'd block him, or I'd laugh? Why leave it hanging like that? She crossed her arms. Because it was funny. Because that's what people do. They joke. Not everything has a hidden meaning. But I wasn't convinced. Over the next month, the distance grew. We still saw each other, still laughed, still acted like a couple. But under the surface, I carried the weight of that sentence everywhere I went. If my ex texted me right now, it became a ghost in our relationship, a shadow I couldn't shake. And then, one night, as we sat on her couch watching TV, her phone buzzed. She picked it up, glanced at the screen, and quickly put it back down. My heart pounded. "Who was that?" I asked. "No one," she said too quickly. "Show me," I demanded. She glared at me. "You don't trust me, do you?" And that's when I realized the truth. Maybe it wasn't about the text. Maybe it wasn't about the joke. Maybe it was about trust, or rather, the lack of it. Because love can survive arguments, differences, even distance, but it cannot survive doubt that never goes away. Her joke had planted a seed, and no matter how much I watered it with reassurances, it grew into something I couldn't control. She called it paranoia. I called it instinct, and in the end, it didn't matter who was right. What mattered was that I could no longer look at her the same way. So when she asked me, "Why are you so distant lately?" I finally told her the truth. "Because I froze that night," I said. "And I'm still frozen? Because your joke showed me something I can't unsee. Because if your ex really did text you right now, I honestly don't know what you'd do. And that terrifies me." Her eyes widened, her mouth opening as if to argue. But I didn't let her. I grabbed my coat, stood up, and walked out the door. Sometimes betrayal doesn't come in the form of cheating. Sometimes it comes wrapped in laughter, hidden in a careless sentence that reveals more than the speaker ever intended. And sometimes all it takes is one joke to shatter everything.